You never seen it?
No.
He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Watch this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say
It's
that.
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready for him.
Does President Trump believe that President Obama should go to jail for something?
Look, the president believes that this matter needs to be thoroughly investigated, and anyone convicted of crime should be held accountable in this country. Go ahead.
He was once hailed as the golden standard of modern leadership. But Joe Rogan and Karoline Leavitt just smashed that pedestal to bits with a sledgehammer. Barack Obama's carefully packaged legacy didn't stand a chance as they peeled back the polished veneer to expose the fluff, failures, and theatrical politics underneath. This takedown isn't subtle. It's a full-throttle, no-holds-barred demolition of everything the mainstream media refused to question or scrutinize. When the smoke finally clears, only the uncomfortable, raw truth remains, echoing louder and more powerfully than any of Obama's eloquent speeches ever did.
Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's a man.
Like,
remember that?
Yeah, like, would Big Mike kill you for that?
Well, I think
That President Trump never had anything to do with Russia. And the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth. And so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence James.
Barack Obama, the man who spent 8 years perfecting the art of looking busy while accomplishing absolutely nothing useful, has once again landed squarely in the crosshairs of unfiltered common sense. This time, it's courtesy of Joe Rogan and Karoline Leavitt, a duo that makes Obama's polished emptiness appear even more absurd and hollow. If presidential performance were judged like a UFC fight, Obama would have been TKO'd well before his second term even began. But thanks to relentless media worship and a Nobel Prize he basically received for existing, he floated through 2 terms like a well-spoken hologram. Impressive to watch, but ultimately intangible and ineffective.
Matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people.
If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more sharp takes. Joe Rogan didn't even have to dig deep. Obama's entire presidency feels like a bloated Netflix special, overhyped, underwhelming, and mostly revered by people who think change means just getting a new font for their resumes. The man who once promised to be the most transparent president ended up making duct tape look see-through by comparison. From the Fast and Furious scandal to the massive NSA surveillance debacle, Obama's administration expertly turned "yes, we can" into "no, we won't tell you," a legacy of slick slogans masking inconvenient truths.
Biden. Give me some volume and go full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto-pen.
Karoline Leavitt, with her sharp Gen Z instincts, didn't need a decade of media fawning to spot the glaring inconsistencies. While legacy networks were still swooning over Obama's perfect crease and his slow-motion stroll across the White House lawn, she was already peeling back the layers of what was essentially a masterclass in performative leadership. Under Obama, America was like a flashy Instagram influencer. all filters, zero real substance, and a carefully curated image that looked great but lacked depth beneath the surface.
Continue while this case is being appealed?
We don't have any flights planned specifically, but we will continue with the mass deportations. And I would just like to point out that the judge in this case is essentially trying to say that the president doesn't have the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists from our American soil. That is an egregious abuse of the bench. This judge does not have that authority. It is the opinion of this White House and of this administration, and that's why we're fighting this in court. And it's very, very clear that this is an activist judge who is trying to usurp the president's authority. Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
It's fun because things are actually happening. Very different than most of the time when people get elected.
And I will shut down the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the state.
Most of the time when people get elected, they claim all these things when they're running for president. Then they get into office and not much changes.
Individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
And in fact, a lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
No, I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made these leaks. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination of these laws.
Protecting whistleblowers, which they didn't do at all. There was one of the worst administrations for whistleblowers.
Let's not pretend the economy under Obama was some kind of stroke of genius either. The man entered office with the economy stuck in a deep ditch and left it limping along like a sad jog on crutches. He blamed everything on George Bush while shamelessly taking credit for every job McDonald's managed to open. The recovery was so slow, it practically needed subtitles for people to keep up. The only thing that truly exploded during Obama's tenure was the national debt, and possibly Joe Biden's ever-growing collection of questionable statements and gaffes.